Um, as a layman, how are partnerships, like law firms, how are they taxed? How do they pay their taxes? Thank you.
I'm Emmanuel Ngolove. What defensive measures can a target company put in place against taxes? And if there are any, how can we deal with these defensive measures against taxes before acquisitions? Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. I'm Shemeri Reperuf. My question, I raised it yesterday, is about the place for project financing in mergers and acquisitions. When you're making your presentation, you only listed debt financing, equity financing, thin capitalization. I wanted to know whether project financing has a place in this. Thank you.
My name is Sam Ochi. My question is in respect of that provision on limitation of benefit clauses. And perhaps it's not exactly a question because maybe it's a poser for the lawyers who are here, who practice in Uganda. So I'm looking at, just wondering aloud at the legality of such a clause in limiting and what would be an international obligation under treaties, given that that clause came post assuming that obligation and was made by the local legislature. Thank you.
Okay. Partnerships generally, as a partnership, it does not pay, the partnership itself does not pay tax. So the way taxation of partnership is determined, once the partnership does its business, you assess the income of the partnership, you look at the costs of the partnership, and then at the end of it all, see whether the partnership has made a profit or a loss. It is anticipated that in the partnership deed, there's clarity of how much each partner is entitled to in terms of percentage shareholding of the profit. So once that profit has been determined, then it is distributed to the partners in accordance with the profit sharing ratios. And each of the partners is then taxed on that income from an income tax perspective. That is for what you would have taken as a corporate tax in case of a company. So it is the individual partners that are taxed. Or if the partners are corporates, then each of that corporate entities will take a share, and that will be added to its other income, and it will be taxed accordingly. The other taxes would apply to the partnership. For example, if it has employees, then the withholding tax obligation will go on the partnership, not the individual partners. So URA will be looking at the partnership because the partnership will be registered with the URA to take care of other obligations like withholding tax, VAT, and so on. I hope I'm clear. Then Emmanuel asked about the defensive measures a target company should put in place pre going into the deal. I would say the defensive measures is compliance. To me, the best tax planning is ensuring that you understand the tax laws of the land and ensure that you put in place measures to make sure that you comply with them. Anything else, you'll be exposed. So, the defensive measure is make sure you understand the laws and the requirements of those tax provisions. And probably what I've seen in a number of small and medium enterprises is definitely there's a lack of understanding of the laws. So they are not really sure of what they're supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do. But then the other issue is poor record keeping. Because even if you understand the laws, to the extent that you are not keeping your records properly, then you will not be able to defend your positions. And also it means you will not be able to file the correct tax returns, and then that will put the entity to be exposed from a tax perspective. Then, what is the place of project financing? I think there are people who are better placed here. Yeah? In this room, I can see financials in this room. Maybe that question, what is the place of project financing when it comes to M&A? Maybe people are going to have to deal with this, may answer this better. If I'm to answer it, it will just be from a tax perspective. However, the aspects I talked about from a tax perspective, regardless of the source of financing, would apply. But as I said, the place of project financing in M&A, I'll leave it to, I think, the people who are going to come after me to take that and give you a more elaborate answer. Then some asked about the limitation of benefits clause, its legality, whereby in a number of instances we have seen that these clauses actually have been put in place sometimes after DTAs have already been signed. And you find that it is, the general rule is that the international agreements take precedence over local laws. But you find that this provision, the limitation of benefits provision, says that this provision takes precedence over the international agreements. That means this has first be fulfilled, then if it is fulfilled, then the clauses in the international agreement then take precedence over the local rules. So from a legal perspective, I think there's an issue. Because if we entered into a DTA before the limitation of benefit clause came into play, then shouldn't we renegotiate when we put it in place? So I think there is an issue which, as far as I'm concerned, has not yet been fully resolved. And there are still discussions, because many times those arguments are made, but yes, we have this, which you put in place after. And sometimes there's no consultation at all with, actually in most cases there's no consultation with the countries where you have already entered the DTA. So as far as I'm concerned, there's an issue. Probably more clarity can be given by our land friends in this room. Thank you. Those are the questions that, maybe one more question depending on the organization.